All right, my friends, I am here with Cristian Tolbaru from Romania. He just got back from the audio show in Munich, Germany. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Hey, folks, I'm Gene Delasella with Audioholics. We have a special guest, an international guest. Cristian, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello, Gene. Hello, everyone.
Thanks. I'm doing great. I appreciate that you reached out to me because I was not able to go to Munich to cover the show. And I know it's a really big show for hi-fi, a lot of incredible brands there. And I think I gave you a list of stuff I wanted you to take some pictures of. But before we get into that, let's introduce who you are. So you work for a company called AVstore out in Romania, correct?
Yep, correct. So we are the biggest company in Romania.
Gotcha. Okay.
We represent a lot of brands, speakers, electronics, you name it. And we are doing this high-end Munich show every year. And I said, come on, it's the last year this show. It's happening in Munich. So we must share this with your audience.
Great. I'll put a link to your AV store. So if anybody's interested in that, it'll be in the video description. And you also have our audio review channel on YouTube. I'll put a link to that as well, since you've done some reviews of some of these brands. But I want to share, let's do a screen share. I want to show some of your awesome pictures that you took. You did some really nice photo work here.
Thanks.
Let's start with just the scenery of Munich for anyone that's never been there. I've never been there. So seeing this town is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it has that German charm, let's say, just like Berlin and other big cities in Germany.
Wow. Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
I've started coming here 10 years ago. Funny thing, actually, I first visit Munich and the high-end show before I was working in the industry. So I asked my wife, we are just getting together back then, if she wanted to go on a holiday in Munich, and why not go to the audio show. So it was the first time for her, and she loved it, and I never missed for the last 10 years.
Of course, you got some good German beer there, right?
Never going to Germany without drinking some beer and having some of their wonderful sausages.
Is that eggs with it, or is that pineapple?
No. Actually, it's called potato salad. It's a typical German dish.
Looks good.
This is a train station to the Munich high-end show, the beautiful road that leading to the venue, and the venue. The last time we are going there, because as everyone already know, next year it's Vienna, Austria. So after 21 years in Munich, high-end is
switching venues, huh?
Yeah, it's finally switching to a different place, to a different country, different beer.
It's different beer. Yeah, that's your priority. All right. So the first brand that you took a look at was Boris. And now we've covered some of their products. We've covered them at the Florida Audio Expo last year. They're very upscale. They're very pricey. Nothing they do is cheap.
It is very pricey. All the electronics that you see in the picture here and the picture before, it's priced around 25 euros. And they introduce their new bass module, audiophile bass module.
Bass module is another word for subwoofer, right?
No. I specifically ask, are those subwoofers? No. They are not subwoofers. What's the difference? Well, this is audiophile product. So it's very articulate. It only complements the speaker. It's disappearing in the room. And with a price tag to match, of course.
Oh, sure. Oh my God, look at those cables.
Yeah. So it's 20,000 euros per piece. There are 4 8-inch driver inside, as you can see.
Oh, they're like a push-pull
push-pull
configuration.
configuration, and the drivers are the same technology as the one in the loudspeaker. So to better mm, match the timbre between the products.
So how did the system sound? Did you get a chance to hear it?
Yeah, because Munich has the first 2 days of the shows are trade days only, so it wasn't that crowded. Most of the room I visited were almost empty, so always in the sweet spot, always listening in good condition. It was quiet. I had the chance to talk with the manufacturers, ask them about the setup. I asked them, okay, so usually the best position for the speakers when you have the best imaging, the best soundstage, it's not the best for your bass.
Yeah.
That's you need to put the subwoofers in a different position. But in this room, they're pretty close. Did you measure them? And they were like, no, but from our experience, we basically knew from the start where to position them. We are doing this for a long time in many different rooms, and instinctively we found the best position, as you see in the pictures.
And how would you describe the sound of the system?
The sound was good, but now the speakers, as you may heard already, they have a sound signature.
Yeah.
Boris, and it's for sure not a neutral sounding speaker.
Right.
None of the speakers are neutral or flat. But what it was very nice, although the distance between them was huge, almost to the side of the room, they still presented a very good soundstage, a good clean phantom center, and that was impressive. And they did some A/B tests, switching the bass module on or off, and you can definitely hear a difference. So no matter how they are calling them, bass module, subwoofers, definitely it was better with them.
So their bass module is open back.
Yeah.
That's very inefficient. So I don't imagine they have massive amounts of output.
No, and they don't go very low.
Yeah.
Well, that's why basically they're not subwoofer.
That's
in
because
this regard.
Yeah, they can't do ultrasonic.
No, they can do ultrasonic. Not very powerful, only 300 watts.
Wow.
Analog, so no DSP inside.
It's a lot of money for something nicely cosmetic, but you know, if it's audiophile and it sounds good, I guess its beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and the audiophile in this case. So I've never heard of this brand, Crazy. It's actually called Crazy Horns.
No, this is
they're just Crazy Horns.
I invented the name because in this folder I went in a bunch of rooms that are having only horn speakers, and we're starting with this one. This one, actually, it was the room when whenever I was feeling, I don't know, tired, or I just wanted to come and relax and forget about audiophile stuff, I would return to this. This was my reset room, let's say.
Okay.
So what it was a Japanese room. Those speakers, as you can see, are vintage.
Yeah, it looks like they're from like World War II, man.
The drivers have 19 years. So almost 100 years old. They are using a 3 watts tube amplifier. They are playing non-audiophile music like Led Zeppelin and all sort of crazy and fun and engaging tracks. The sound was, for 90 years old, it was mind-blowing. Great dynamics, great scale, great imaging. Amazing. All the people that walked into this room had a smile on their faces.
Interesting.
And, at the end of the day, maybe that's all about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the look I would want in a modern house, but there are people that have this vintage kind of nostalgia, and I guess it fits that marketplace, you know?
I don't think they were here for the business. They are just here for fun.
Okay.
I've talked with them, and they were just very into music.
Yeah.
So they just listening the music and not their gear, in other words.
Well, that's kind of cool. They're doing it for the fun of it. So, all
Yeah.
right. So, what is this one now? What are we looking at here?
This is one crazy. It's called ASD from China. They started coming to this show around 5 years, or at least I noticed them around 5 or 4 years ago. They always bring out crazy expensive, like this system, it's 1 million. Everything that you see here is 1 million euros. What is this? It's a 5-way horn-loaded loudspeaker with subwoofers, so a 6-way, basically.
Bass modules.
Yeah, but they are calling that subwoofer.
Oh,
They were
good.
saying, yeah, no, those are subwoofers because they dig down. They dig all the way to 20 hertz. So the subwoofers are doing 20 to 100. After that, you have the greenish big horn-loaded bass driver. So those are the upper bass frequency from 100 to 500. After that, if you see on the diagonal of the red horn in the middle, there are some holes. There are 4 holes,
Yeah.
2 big ones and 2 small in diagonal. Those were the low mid-range and the high mid-range, so from 500 to 2K and from 2K to 8K. And in the middle, a beryllium horn-loaded tweeter going all the way to 52.
Okay.
So and all the boxes that you see there are actively running because you have the crossover. It's passive. There are 2 5-way crossovers in the box, and you have there the crossovers. You have the preamp. You have the power amp and the power supply for the preamp for the CD player. The one in the middle up. On the top is the CD player. You will see some better pictures following.
So tell us what it sounded like.
This was the biggest room of the show. I mean, it's huge. It's around 60 by 100 feet, something like that. And as you can expect for this kind of setup and this kind of price tag, the sound was impressive. Now, it wasn't the cleanest, maybe it wasn't the most transparent, but very good depth, very good dynamics, and they played some real crazy music, some pipe organ, some big bands, so a lot of dynamics, because when you have a system like that, it's all about dynamics.
Wow, that's a lot of cables to connect to this system.
Yes, it is a net of cables.
Oh my goodness. Is this the same system?
Yeah, this is the same system. So
Man.
everything is playing. Everything is playing. They are not there only for show. They are doing something. Very
Yeah. Looks like a wiring nightmare.
kind of is. And the front plates of all the electronics are some kind of marble. And they make everything themselves. And the gold plated CD player and the remote.
Yeah,
Beside,
very posh.
very posh, very posh.
Okay, so what do we see here? This looks like something the Joker would have with that.
Pretty much. Crazy color, crazy shape, crazy size, crazy price again. But I think this was my favorite horn-loaded speaker by far, because now you gain the clarity back. Now you have the transparency. Now you have a true high-resolution sound. So it's not only dynamics, high SPL levels and stuff like that. No, so you can do proper jazz or things like that, not only big bands on this system.
Gotcha.
And again, subwoofer separately, horn-loaded bass, horn-loaded mid-range, everything was horn-loaded except for the subwoofer.
And you said it was your favorite. Why was it your favorite sounding? What stood out compared to the other systems you heard that were horn-loaded?
you that one was again something very special. So the resolution, the transparency. I mean, if I close my eyes, I wouldn't pay money that someone would tell me that it's a horrible system. It wasn't that aggressive, that throat sounding like
The throat, it didn't have that throaty
no,
sound that you
no,
had.
no, it doesn't. No. So the geometry was spot on. Matching the driver with the horn was spot on. The crossover between the drivers, everything was very composed and very engaging.
Now, Cristian, you said to me before you did audio, you actually have a automotive background, right? You're an engineer, automotive engineer.
Yeah, correct.
So
Automatic
you
transmission.
do have a technical background on.
Yes.
Yeah. And like me, we're both engineers. We have a love for audio, and we switched to doing this full time, right?
Yes, it was a leap of faith, switching my career 360 degrees from automotive to audio. But I had this passion ever since I was a little kid, and why not? Let's give it a go. And
Yeah.
10 years later, here I am doing
Cool.
awesome stuff, meeting a lot of great people and having fun, basically.
That's what it's about. So I've seen this brand Acappella before. I think it was at Florida Audio Expo or maybe Expona.
Yes.
These are kind of an eyesore to me.
And the size, because again, this room was huge. I don't think you can real judge the sheer size of that yellow horn.
Jeez.
It's humongous. But for whatever reason, I returned to this room in 2 consecutive days, and they were playing it very, very light. So the sound level was too low. I don't know why. No, so you cannot judge the system at all.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was a shame because, let's face it, it was a amazing system. Only
Yep.
5 those
Yeah.
speaker will ever be made.
Okay. Well, we covered this. We're looking at bass modules now. We covered the Boris in one, so we'll just skip.
Yeah.
It.
So this is again. So this year, for the first time in many years, for the first time ever, I think, I saw a lot of high-end manufacturers coming out with subwoofers, but they were calling them bass modules. And most of them was exactly like this one, because when I first entered the room, I was like, what is this, 4 speakers? No, it's almost the same size and shape of the speaker, but it's filled with bass drivers.
So Infinity started this. Infinity started this in the '80s with the Kappa series. You know, they had a separate.
Yeah.
box. Yep.
This is from Martin, their flagship. Again, crazy expensive, crazy huge speakers. Audio from Norway.
Yeah, I've heard them. I heard them at Florida Audio Expo.
At Florida, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They told me that you visit, yeah. And this time they had some real big boys in the room. The new speakers, 15-inch, and the new subwoofers, 4 drivers, 15-inch also.
Wow.
So we had 10 15-inch in that room. Let me tell you, when the bass hits the room, it was shaking like crazy, but not in a bad way. Surprisingly, they pulled up some kind of magic, very good integrated. And
well, I heard these speakers without the bass modules, and they had plenty of bass, so I can only imagine.
And the bass module are also passive. So they were feeding it with that electro-component power back.
Gotcha.
YG acoustics.
YG acoustics, yeah.
YG, yeah. And they also highlighted bass modules. So all the rooms had it. And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing, because usually audiophiles shun subwoofers, so they found a way around it by calling it bass modules.
Exactly. So it's not a subwoofer. It's something similar, let's say. So it will not be a. This is also a bass module. Looks like a speaker. Actually, it's half a speaker. But no, again, a bass module.
Yeah.
So this is from Rido, it's called, the company.
Wow, that's deep.
Denmark also. They were using, this one is active, they were using a Hybex amplifier.
Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. All right, let's look at some of the brands that people are more familiar with. JBL, Mark Levinson. I mean, there's no drama here. This is just stuff that they've done based on their engineering science for years.
Yes, and after so many years of not coming out with nothing really interesting in their synthesis line, this year they had 3 new models. So they are the Makalu, Pumoni, and Ama. This is the Pumoni here with 10-inch bass driver, freeway. No compression tweeter. So it's
Similar
not
to the tweeter that you found on the M2. Very similar
it's
geometry.
similar, but this time they told me that the driver itself, it's designed specially for high-end audio. So it's not just another pro audio driver.
Right.
So more detail, more finesse, more airness in the upper frequency.
How much are these a pair? Do you know? Because I know they raised their prices because of the tariffs. So cheap.
I think I have them here somewhere written down. 1 second.
But more importantly, how did this sound? Did you actually get to hear a demo?
Yes, I hear them both. So also Ama, the small bookshelf, where actually they're not that small. It's an 8-inch driver. So this is the Ama. Both sounded very good. Similar with their synthesis line, but so same soundstage precision. That horn is amazing. Good depth, very good depth, and they were not very into the room, so they are pretty close to the back wall. But despite that, they had good depth. The mid range was their strong point, in my opinion. Both of them, very good, clear, cohesive mid range. And the tweeter, I think they're right. I think they actually managed to engineer a very good tweeter this time. Not harsh at all. Very soft sounding for horn loaded. Could be a very good line of products. This new Summit line from JBL.
The room looks harsh. It doesn't look like they had a lot of room treatment in there and a lot of hard.
Yeah, it's actually it was. I asked them this thing, and they were like, "No, it's kind of a diffuser." What you can see, so it's not stone, of course. It's a plasterboard, but they had a good, let's say, room because it was pretty big. So
yeah, beautiful finish.
That's
a beautiful glossy finish there.
Yeah, so that's why they are targeting the more audiophile customers. So they're trying to get away from the pro audio design, black boxes.
Yeah, big flared port there to eliminate the port noise, chuffing, that kind of stuff.
And they had some Mark Levinson.
That's an amplifier,
products.
right?
Yeah, a mono correctly.
Yeah.
The name I cannot remember. A lot of digits there, as always, with Mark and Levinson.
Beautifully crafted, of course. Expensive, but
expensive, beautiful crafted. Yeah. The power was like 34,000, if I remember correctly.
Right. So Kharma.
Spare change money. Yeah, this is a very high-end room, and I particular entered this room because I don't know, the whole atmosphere, it was something else. They struggled a lot to have a good acoustics. All the walls are doubled, so it's a room in a room basically. They also have all the floor tiles made from acoustic material, so everything was laid out beautiful. The speakers are beautiful, the electronics are beautiful. All the room was top notch, and for a price tag like that, it's better be. And also the sound was very good.
Yeah. Looks good. All right. Kai surround system. This is interesting. So you actually had a surround demo at a 2-channel show. That's primarily 2-channel, right?
95% is 2 channels. Only 3 or 4 rooms out of 200 it's multi-channel.
Right.
This one is with Key Audio. You know the brand. Mr. Potier makes these speakers. Hypex active Hypex amplifier, cardioid design.
Oh, cardio is really advantageous for bass.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can tell when you enter that room and listen for the bass notes. Very tight, very articulate, no boominess. So it was a 7-3-4 system. In front, the front sound stage, it was composed by key 3 speakers and another 8 key 7s. So 2 surrounds, 2 rears, and 4 hide channels. And this room was showing the new pure audio streaming platform that you can see in this picture.
Mhm.
So what is this platform? Basically, it's like Tidal or Spotify, but for multi-channel. So you will need a compatible receiver or AV processor, taking the signal from an NVIDIA Shield or Amazon Fire Stick or something similar via HDMI. And you can have 5.1 or 7.1.4 PCM 96 kilohertz Auto 3D embedded tracks. So only Auto 3D, no Atmos.
Oh, okay. So I imagine they played music, multi-channel music.
Yes, yes, yes. Only music, only surround mixed music.
Yeah.
And some of them were brilliant, like, I don't know, electronic music. It was a track, Respiro di Mare, called by Boris Blank, where instruments were flowing all around you. So you are in the middle of the soundstage. For that kind of electronic music, it was amazing. So
Right.
you're in there listening. But after that, they put some jazz, The Elder from Anders German. It was kind of distracting because you had the soundstage in front, but in the rear left, you had the drums.
Oh, yeah, I hate when they do that. They break the
Yes,
intro.
and I
Yeah.
was like, what is happening? Why the drums are in the rear? I mean, it's unnatural.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For some kind of music, it's brilliant. For others, not so much. So
Yeah, that's what I found with a lot of multi-channel music. It gets too gimmicky if it puts instruments all around you sometimes. I mean, it's like the early recordings of DTS, they would do that with Steely Dan records, and it just was off-putting. But there's mixers like Steven Wilson that are doing Atmos very tastefully, putting you in front of the music and then using the Atmos for spaciousness and height and effect.
yes, I think I prefer the same. Not to be in the soundstage, but to be in the audience.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So
And to
this
have,
alright, so this company, Lansche Audio?
yeah, Lansche Audio. I don't know if you ever
I've
heard.
seen this plasma tweeter at
Plasma
Florida.
tweeter, yeah. This is
I've
the
seen it,
highlight
yeah.
of this brand, the Plasma tweeter. And it's a pretty amazing tweeter, I might say, because uh, listening to music, I had that feeling like instruments popping out in air, like a magician trick. It was mind-blowing. So for mid-range and for the tweeter, it was brilliant. Now having this very amazing tweeter, it's not that easy to integrate with the other drivers.
Right.
So they told me that they did extensive work and they manage it 100%. Could be better, maybe, in my opinion.
Yeah, I heard the plasma tweeter demo, at Florida Audio, and I think it was the same brand, and it didn't blow me away personally, but
There are not many brands, so yeah, probably this was a brand.
yeah.
And not
So
to say that
This is MoFi. We've seen this is pretty mainstream now. Andrew Jones is involved in this one. This is their
yes, and
ED8 tower?
the big boys, the 10-inch.
Oh, okay. How do these sound?
I had the pleasure of having the room myself, as you saw earlier, so it was only me. And they are kick-ass speakers, very good. Andrew Jones made us again. So all this line of MoFi speakers are brilliant, and these 10-inch ones with 10 passive radiator behind are amazing. Good extension, yeah. Very good extension, very good dynamic. They were playing loud, they were playing dynamic music, they were playing a lot of genres of music just to highlight the strength of the speakers. So not only jazz and voices, no, very complex music.
Yep. So again, we're back with the Norwegian company Audio. We've covered this. I'm a big fan. I definitely want to do reviews of these products.
Yeah, they actually, he asked me to say hello to you. So here it is. Hello, Jim from Audio.
Yes, very cool. Yeah. Did he have an axe? Did he have an axe?
Yes, always.
That's to keep reviewers honest.
And my true opinion, the best room of the show.
Yes, you have to say that. So, Cristian, I asked you to cover Onkyo because I know they're making a big comeback in 2-channel, and my roots when I was a kid were in Onkyo. I really loved the brand. Aspired to own Onkyo receivers and hi-fi products back in the day. So I'm glad to see that the emphasis is back on their 2-channel stuff.
After ages, Onkyo will finally launch a new reference line of products.
Yeah.
They told me the deadline will be around September this year. So still not shipping as we speak.
Yeah.
They have a new power amp, a new streaming integrated amp, a CD player, and a network preamplifier.
Oh, cool.
And of course, the power amp you can bridge to mono. It's 150 into 8 ohms and 200 into 4 ohms. So not a lot of power, but as you can see, very efficient speakers.
Yeah, they're using Klipschorns here.
Yeah, Klipschorns, the new Klipschorns, the new model.
Yeah.
And
were these amps class AB?
Yes, AB amps with so they are running monoblocks for the bass and stereo for the tweeters.
Right.
And here is this kind of oldish looking line of speakers that I have a limited edition.
Very cool. So hopefully we get some of that in the United States sometime soon. So Perlisten, we are intimately familiar with the brand. We were the first to review the S7Ts. These look like they're S7T LEs.
Those are the black edition.
The black edition, okay.
Yeah.
So they have their new, I guess you call it an on-wall or in-wall subwoofer. It's got like 8-inch drivers.
Yes, exactly. Then Perlisten, I think it's called D8ES or something like that.
I heard it's incredible. They're using it for turn-off waveforming. I think they pump like 3,000 watts into these subs, so they have a lot of excursion for an 8-inch driver. And what did you get to hear a demo of this system with the subs engaged?
So it wasn't. It was more of a showroom type of room where they have side by side multiple systems, but every now and then they were making some demos. I got to hear them. They were using a Trinov Amethyst, so DSP room correction. As one could expect, everything sounded amazing. Good dynamics, great clarity. Those MPD tweeters, amazing. And the subwoofers, very discreet, but doing their job.
Yeah. Yep. We're intimately familiar with this brand and the waveguide geometry and everything they do with the
the DPD array. It's mind blowing. And they were just.
Well, you got the A series here. See, we're not getting the A series in the United States.
Yes, they told me. I talked with Lars. You might know him.
Yep.
Lars Johansson.
Good man.
He also told me to say hello to Jin. So hello again, Jin.
Hello.
Yes, the A line, A3T, A3M, A2S, new speakers, They told me that they are a little bit more dynamic than the S lines. Unfortunately, I didn't get to hear them. The, the finish is very nice. It looks like a Perlisten, but you lose the DPD array. So it's only almost like a horn-loaded tweeter, but it's just basically an oversized waveguide.
Yeah.
To better control the directivity and matching with the mid-range drivers, but I haven't heard them, unfortunately.
Okay, last but not least, we got to go over some cables, and I saw that there was some AudioQuest cables on those Perlistens, but
I didn't saw that.
Yeah.
I was only watching the electronics and the speakers.
Yeah, I get you. So, all right, so we got some bling here. I mean, it's pretty
so,
cool. That's a little ridiculous with the railroad tracks, with the cable lifters. I still love
cable lifter and everything. But when you have cables those expensive, and I think they are very big and bulky.
Yeah, it's strain relief for the connectors.
You need this kind of fixation to the floor just to shape them somehow.
I don't know who could put something like this in a house, but more power to you if you can. It takes up a lot of space just to set it up.
Yeah, you need 3 meters behind just to put your cables.
Well, Cristian, I appreciate you taking all these photos and giving us your experience with the Munich Audio Show. Unfortunately, if I ever do go to this show, it's not going to be in Germany. It's going to be in Austria next, right?
Hoping for at least as good beer, hoping for better rooms acoustic, because let's face it, unfortunately, a lot of rooms at any show, not only Munich or Warsaw or Florida, is not as good as it can be. But it's a good opportunity to see the products, to get a glance of their performance, and to know what you're dealing with.
Right. Well, guys, check out Cristian's YouTube channel down below. Check out the store that he works with, especially if you're in his area. Go and do some demos. Go talk to the man. Cristian, we appreciate your contribution here to Audioholics. We have to have you on again sometime.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Guys, if you like this video, please hit the thumb up, hit subscribe. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/Audioholics. We appreciate your support. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.
Keep listening.
Yes.